Hello everyone, I am your educator Anjali Sharma and I welcome you all to Arpita Sharma classes. This is a new series wherein we'll analyze previous year economics questions via quiz. Before starting the quiz, a small announcement. You can subscribe to Arpita Sharma classes for daily Hindu analysis, important international organizations, daily MCQ series, strategy related classes to UPSC CSE, daily economics MCQ series, and a lot more. So, also, Arpita ma'am is taking live classes on Unacademy Plus. Use code SharmaYT10 to get 10% discount. So now let's begin with the quiz. Okay, so before starting the quiz, you can also join our Telegram channel, Simplifying UPSC with Ease, जिसका link ये रहा इधर. And yes, now let's begin with question 1. What is or are the advantage or advantages of implementing the National Agriculture Market Scheme? तो नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर मार्केट स्कीम के व्हाट आर द बेनिफिट्स और एडवांटेजेस इज बिकॉज इफ इट इज ऑप्शन वन और इफ इट इज बोथ ऑफ देम इट इज अ पैन इंडिया इलेक्ट्रॉनिक ट्रेडिंग पोर्टल फॉर एग्रीकल्चरल कमोडिटीज it provides the farmers access to nationwide market with prices commensurate with the quality of their produce. So choose the correct option. One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. So what would be the correct answer? इन दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स में से नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर मार्केट स्कीम के लिए विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट? So the correct answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Both 1 and 2 statements are correct. National Agriculture Market NAM is a pan-India electronic trading portal which networks the existing APMC mandis to create a unified national market for agricultural commodities. So this statement is correct. Now statement 2, it removes information asymmetry between buyers and sellers and promotes real-time price discovery based on actual demand and supply, promotes transparency in auction process and access to a nationwide market for the farmers with prices proportionate to quality of his produce and online payment and availability of better quality produce and at more reasonable prices to the consumer. What is written here कि दोनों statements correct है. Firstly, it is a pan India electronic trading portal for agricultural commodities जो कि जिसके network APMC मंडीज को भी unified national market बनाने के लिए काम करते हैं. फार्मर्स को क्या फ़ायदा है? उन्हें अपनी प्रोड्यूस के लिए ऑनलाइन पेमेंट्स मिल जाती हैं और बेटर प्राइसेस मिल जाती है. और कंज्यूमर्स को क्या फ़ायदा है? उन्हें बेटर क्वालिटी का प्रोड्यूस मिल जाता है और उन्हें रीजनेबल प्राइस पे मिल जाता है. सो येस, दिस इज बेनिफिशियल फॉर बोथ ऑफ देम. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Which of the following are the objectives of National Nutrition Mission? तो नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन मिशन की बात कर रहे हैं. कौन कौन सी जो है दो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं उनके? To create awareness relating to malnutrition among pregnant women and lactating mothers, to reduce the incidence of anemia among young children, adults, and girls and women, to promote the consumption of millets, coarse cereals, and unpolished rice, to promote the consumption of poultry eggs. तो these are your four statements जिनके हिसाब से आपको बताना है कि इनमें से कौन से ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन मिशन के. What would be the correct answer, guys? Comment down your answers below. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन मिशन जो है वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ वुमेन एंड चिल्ड्रन डेवलपमेंट वेबसाइट से लिया गया है. सो इतना बहुत होना चाहिए. दिस शुड बी द करेक्ट हिंट. कम ऑन, गिव द करेक्ट आंसर्स. सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन ए, which is 1 and 2. As I said, ki this is taken from the Ministry of Women and Child Development website. So it has been taken from Ministry of Women and Child Development website. Statement 3 and 4 are wrong because there is no mention of eggs or unpolished rice or millets in the official release document. Here is the link. You can find this link on our Telegram channel in this PDF. So statement 1 and 2 are the two components of National Nutrition Mission, which is information, education and communication, IEC campaign against malnutrition, multi-sectoral nutrition program. And the key objectives of the programs under the mission are as under: to create awareness relating to malnutrition among pregnant women, lactating mothers, promote healthy lactating practices and importance of balanced nutrition, to improve maternal and child undernutrition in 200 high burden districts and to prevent and reduce the undernutrition prevalent among children below 3 years, to reduce incidence of anemia among young children, adolescent girls, and women. So, yes. So, the statement 1 and 2 are correct, and which is option A. Moving on to our next question. The term digital single market strategy seen in the news refers to ASEAN, BRICS, European Union, G20. So, digital single market strategy is related to the following options. So, tell me your answers quickly, guys. So, the correct answer is option C, which is European Union. C. Why was this asked in the paper? It is because Brexit, which is British exit from Eurozone, brought focus on European Union amid impending global digital revolution. UPSC picked this from European Union's official website justification or the explanation for the question. The digital single market is a part of the digital agenda for Europe 2020 program of the EU, an initiative of Europe 2020 proposed strategy. The digital single market was adopted on 6th May 2015 and is one of the European Commission's 10 political priorities. It is made up of three policy pillars, which is access to online products and services, conditions for digital network and services to grow and thrive, growth of the European digital economy. So, yes, moving on to our next question. Consider the following statements. According to the Indian Patents Act, a biological process to create a seed can be patented in India. In India, there is no intellectual property appellate board. Plant varieties are not eligible in the patented in India. So, plant varieties are not eligible to be patented in India. I suppose I just mistyped the question. Which of the स्टेटमेंट्स गिवन अबव आर करेक्ट? तो ऊपर तीन स्टेटमेंट्स दिए गए हैं. एक है कि जो इंडियन पेटेंट्स एक्ट है वहाँ पे बायोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस से अगर आपने कोई सीड क्रिएट करा है तो उसे पेटेंट किया जा सकता है. दूसरा उन्होंने कहा है कि कोई इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी या पैलेट बोर्ड है ही नहीं इंडिया में. तीसरा स्टेटमेंट है कि प्लांट वेराइटीज आर नॉट एलिजिबल टू द पेटेंट टू बी पेटेंटेड इन इंडिया. सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? Quickly give me the correct answer, guys. So the correct answer is option C, which is 3 only. Only the third statement is correct and the other two are almost. Second statement is almost mockable. How is like intellectual property appellate board ही नहीं है इंडिया का, ऐसा कैसे statement दे सकते हैं आप? So yes, the first statement is incorrect. Now the second statement is not true because here is the website link here of the Indian Intellectual Property Appellate Board, which was constituted by Gazette notification of the central government in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry on 15 September 2003 to hear appeals against the decisions of the registrars under the Trademarks Act 1999 and the geographical indications of the goods. Also, you can read more about this board on this website. And the third is that, which is true, that legal experts say it is also not possible to hold patents of plant varieties in India. The Patents Act is clear that plants in whole or part, including seeds, varieties, species, essentially biological processes for production propagation of plants, are not patentable inventions. Independent legal researcher Shalini Bhutani told Monga Bay India. So this was the newspaper link that I got the explanation of this पार्ट फ्रॉम कि ये जो प्लांट वेराइटीज किसी भी तरीके की प्रोसेस से अगर आपने डेवलप किया है, चाहे सीड्स हैं, चाहे कोई भी स्पीशी, कोई भी वेराइटी है, या प्रोपगेशन ऑफ प्लांट्स या प्रोडक्शन ऑफ प्लांट्स इज नॉट पेटेंटेबल इन्वेंशन. सो यस, लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Recognition of prior learning scheme is sometimes mentioned in the news with reference to. So this is talking about recognition of prior learning scheme, RPL. Reference to certifying the skills acquired by construction workers through traditional channels, enrolling the persons in universities for distance learning programs, reserving some skilled jobs to rural and urban poor in some public sector undertakings, certifying the skills acquired by the trainees under the National Skill Development Program. So you need to have read in between the lines for this one. Okay, a small hint. This is an ancillary scheme to one major scheme. I don't know how that is going to help, but to try. So yes, the correct answer is option A, certifying the skills acquired by the construction workers through traditional channels. So why was this asked? Because aspirants cover core schemes and programs but often miss covering ancillary and peripheral aspects. This was picked from between the lines of the website of PMKVY. Such ancillary questions can be expected even in the coming years. So now the explanation. Option A, the recognition of prior learning scheme underway across construction sites in 5 states to certify skills acquired by workers through traditional learning channels. This is correct. The project may be of particular relevance to a country where just 2% of the workforce is certified as skilled. कि मतलब इस प्रोजेक्ट की पर्टिकुलर रेलेवेंस कंट्री में तब के लिए है अगर इवन 2% ऑफ द वर्क फोर्स इज सर्टिफाइड एज स्किल्ड. Most deemed to be outside the skilled category in India are those who have typically picked up a skill while on the job without any formal degree to back this up. Obviously, whatever we are doing, we get better at it. पर उसकी हमारे पास कोई डिग्री नहीं है. Even if I am very good at PowerPoint presentations, I don't have a certain degree if I have not earned it from any certification. I have not done anything, so I am not qualified or certified as a skilled. Even if I possess that skill, so this scheme is for certifying the skill that I have. Now, option D is incorrect since it talks about trainees who are not fully skilled to get recognition of any prior learning. तो यहाँ पे जब D में बात करी गई है ट्रेनीज की तो ट्रेनीज को नहीं करता है ये स्कीम रिकॉग्नाइज. इसके अंदर होती है अगर आपकी जो भी पर्सन जो फुल्ली एम्प्लॉयबल सिचुएशन में है. Now, individuals with prior learning experience or skills will also be assessed and certified under the recognition of prior learning in Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, but this isn't applicable to trainees. So D is incorrect, and you can read more on this link. So yes, let's move to our next question. In India, which of the following review the independent regulators in sectors like telecommunications, insurance, electricity, etc.? तो इंडिया के अंदर इंडिपेंडेंट रेगुलेटर्स जो हैं सेक्टर्स के इंश्योरेंस टेलीकम्युनिकेशन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एटसेट्रा इनके कौन होते हैं. एड हॉक कमिटीज सेट अप बाय द पार्लियामेंट, parliamentary department related standing committees, finance commission, financial sector legislative reforms commissions, or Niti Aayog. So out of these four, you can choose the combination as 1 and 2, 1, 3 and 4, 3, 4 and 5, 2 and 5, which you find correct. So, ad hoc committees जो पार्लियामेंट ने बनाए हैं, पार्लियामेंट्री डिपार्टमेंट रिलेटेड स्टैंडिंग कमिटीज, फाइनेंस कमीशन, फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर लेजिस्लेटिव रिफॉर्म्स कमीशन, नीति आयोग. चलिए हिंट दे देती हूँ, आप एलिमिनेट करके अपने आंसर तक पहुंच जाएंगे. एलिमिनेट करिए वो ऑप्शंस जो आपको बिल्कुल लग नहीं रहे हैं कि आंसर होगा या सोल्यूशन होगा. So the correct answer is option A, which is 1 and 2. Only these two committees that are ad hoc committees set up by the parliament and parliamentary department related standing committees can review the independent regulators in sectors like telecommunications, insurance, electricity, etc. So, Financial Sector Legislative Reforms Commission was set up for a limited time period under Justice B. N. Shri Krishna's chairmanship, and its mandate did not include reviewing the electricity regulator. So, your option 4 is wrong. Similar reason eliminates Finance Commission, which is option 3, which is set up periodically for the tax distribution between union and states. Thus, B and C are eliminated. B and C are eliminated because these contain 3 and 4 as the option. Now we are left with A and D. So Niti Aayog is a think tank and policy advisor for the government. Yes, it reviews development work in the aspirational districts and SDGs implementation across India, but reviewing independent regulators is not under its purview. So option 5 is wrong. This eliminates D. Thus by elimination we are left with answer A, which is 1 and 2 only, which is the correct answer. Now, moving on to our next question. Which of the following statements is correct or are correct regarding the Smart India Hackathon 2017? So, इसमें बात करी गई है Smart India Hackathon 2017 की. इनके बारे में कौन से statements correct हैं बताइए. It is centrally sponsored scheme for developing every city of our country into smart cities in a decade. It is an initiative to identify new digital technology innovations for solving many problems faced by our country. It is a program aimed at making all the financial transactions in our country completely digital in a decade. So, out of these three options, three statements, what statements do you think are correct? 1 and 3 only, 2 only, 3 only, 2 and 3 only. सबसे पहली बात, it is a centrally sponsored scheme for developing every city of our country into smart cities, कि हर एक सिटी को स्मार्ट सिटी बनाया जाए इंडिया की, और इसे सेंटर स्पॉन्सर करेगा. इट इज़ एन इनिशिएटिव कि हम न्यू डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी इनोवेट कर सके फॉर जितने प्रॉब्लम्स हमारी कंट्री में आए उन सबको सॉल्व किया जा सके. इट इज़ अ प्रोग्राम एम्ड एट मेकिंग ऑल फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन, सारी फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस डिजिटल कर देना. व्हाट वुड बी द करेक्ट आंसर? So the correct answer is option B, which is 2 only, that it is an initiative to identify new digital technology innovations for solving the many problems faced by our country. HRD's ministry Smart India Hackathon was a 36 hours non-stop digital programming competition during which students team competed to offer innovative solutions to give for any given problem. So this was the most suitable option. That was statement 2. So yes, moving on to our next question. Which of the following gives global gender gap index ranking to the countries of the world? So global gender gap index जो है वो कौन सी ऑप्शन इनमें से रैंक देती है? वो यूएन ह्यूमन राइट्स काउंसिल, यूएन वुमेन, वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. What would be the correct answer? So the correct answer is, this is a straightforward question, guys. If you know it, if you know it, if you do not know it, let's take a guess then. So the correct answer is option C, World Economic Forum. So the Global Gender Gap Report was first published in 2006 by the World Economic Forum. The 2020 report, published in 2019 December, covers 153 countries. The Global Gender Gap Index is an index designed to measure gender equality. The gender index is designed to measure gender-based gaps in access to resources and opportunities in countries rather than actual levels of the available resources and opportunities in those countries. इसमें gender-based gaps को असेस किया जाता है रिसोर्स और अपॉर्चुनिटीज के लिए, कि कितने रिसोर्सेज कौन से पर्सन को अवेलेबल हो रही है, कौन सी जेंडर को अवेलेबल हो रही है. सो एंड इट डज नॉट टेक मच इनटू द कंसिडरेशन कि हाउ मच एक्चुअली द रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल और अपॉर्चुनिटीज अवेलेबल है, बट उसमें जेंडर गैप कैसे हैं वो मेजर करता है. It is compiled by the World Economic Forum, and India has been ranked as 112th among 153 countries in the annual Global Gender Gap Index for 2020, published by the World Economic Forum. काफी बार बता दिया इसमें कि World Economic Forum ही करता है ये ranking release. So yes, moving on to the next question. With reference to National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, which of the following statements is or are correct? तो बात हो रही है नेशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड की. इनमें से दोनों में से कौन से स्टेटमेंट्स करेक्ट है? इट इज एन ऑर्गन ऑफ नीति आयोग. इट हैज अ कॉर्पस ऑफ 4 लाख करोड़ एट प्रेजेंट. सो व्हाट वुड बी द करेक्ट आंसर? इन दोनों में से कौन से स्टेटमेंट्स करेक्ट हैं? कोई एक, तो कौन सा? बोथ 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Correct answer, guys. So the correct answer is option D, which is neither 1 nor 2. None of them is correct. So, National Investment Infrastructure Fund was founded in February 2015 and it comes under the government of Ministry of Finance. And इसके CEO सुजॉय बोस हैं and इसके headquarters मुंबई इंडिया में है. इसके बारे में और पता कर लें थोड़ा. So, the government had set up the 40,000 crore NIIF in 2015 as an investment vehicle for funding commercially viable greenfield, brownfield and stalled infrastructure projects. तो 4 लाख करोड़ नहीं 40,000 करोड़ की बात हुई थी. So, अब इंडियन गवर्नमेंट जो है वो 49% इन्वेस्ट कर रही है कॉपस में, और बाकी सारा जो है वो थर्ड पार्टी इन्वेस्टर्स से, जैसे कि सोवरेन वेल्थ फंड्स, इंश्योरेंस एंड पेंशन फंड्स, एंडाउमेंट्स, इनसे रेज किया जाएगा. Now, NIIF currently manages 3 funds, each with its distinctive investment mandate. The funds are registered as alternative investment fund with the Securities and Exchange Board of India. So the three funds are the master funds, the fund of funds, and the strategic investment fund. So yes, that's about it. Now moving on to our last question for the day. With reference to Quality Council of India, consider the following statements. QCI was set up jointly by the Government of India and Indian industry. Chairman of QCI is appointed by the Prime Minister of the recommendations of the industry of the to the government. अच्छा, फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज जो QCI है वो जॉइंटली सेटअप किया है किन किन ने, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने और इंडियन इंडस्ट्री ने मिलकर के। और दूसरा क्या स्टेटमेंट है कि जो चेयरमैन है QCI का, दैट इज अपॉइंटेड बाय द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑन द रिकमेंडेशंस ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री टू द गवर्नमेंट। नाउ व्हिच ऑफ द अबव स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट? वन ओनली, टू ओनली, बोथ वन एंड टू, नीदर वन नॉर टू? चलिए क्विकली बता दीजिए आंसर. Comment down your answers below, guys, and comment down your scores. So the correct answer is option C, which is both 1 and 2. Both of these statements are correct as per the organization's about us page. ये वाली लिंक भी आप क्लिक कर सकते हैं PDF फाइल में. एंड सबसे हंसने लायक बात ये है कि जो उनका पेज वेबसाइट है, फर्स्ट लाइन ही यही है कि QCI was set up jointly by the government of India and the Indian industry. So yes, both the statements are correct. Now let's end this class on a positive note, that is, the way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. Obviously, this is like a very normal thing to do, but सबसे नहीं हो पाती कि hardships मिलते हैं सक्सेस से पहले, और सक्सेस की कोई डेफिनेशन भी नहीं है एज सच, बट अगर आपको रेनबो चाहिए तो रेन से तो गुजरना ही पड़ेगा, ये रेन्स तो देखनी पड़ेंगी, रेन्स से तो डील करना ही पड़ेगा. तो टिल देन, हैप्पी लर्निंग.